What did you set out to accomplish in 2023 that you missed the mark on?
Ooh. Okay, well, here we go. Vulnerability time, right? Let's just get raw with it. I had so many great things happen in 2023 and so many great accomplishments, but the thing I set out to do was to meet a fitness challenge, to meet a fitness goal. And not only did I not meet it, I fell far, far, far from it.
Mm.
It was
Oh my
it
God.
was not good.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute because I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have goals that they want to set out and accomplish and, write it all down January 1st, ready to go, like maybe joined a group, all of this stuff that we do. I say stuff management to accomplish these goals. And for me, I think it's about like setting up your goals in a positive way with positive intention. And there's ways to kind of like, do that, which we're going to get into. But when you think about that, how you missed the mark, what you wanted to do, can you think about or come up with any areas of like what was holding you back? Like literally, what was holding you back?
Yeah, I think I know. And I think that when we set goals, one of the things we do is spend a lot of time in that sort of wish mode, right? We hope that we can get to this place or do this thing or accomplish, achieve this other thing, and that's great and that's necessary. However, I think we don't put the mechanisms in place to accomplish them. And by mechanisms, I'm not just talking about going out and buying fitness equipment, because you can buy fitness equipment and then it just becomes another place to hang your laundry, right? So
Right.
it's got to be something more than that. And so if I look at the things that went well this year, which was just about everything else went extremely well this year, it's because those things I made a specific plan, a system, a schedule for each one of those things. They were a part of my overall plan. They were part of my daily requirements. The
Mm.
fitness thing was just, oh, I really would like to lose some weight this year. It would be really nice if I could. And unfortunately, that's a start, but it's not enough.
Right, right, right. That is huge because I think in incurable positivity, we talk about commitment, right? And the actions and the agreements that come after that. Because a lot of people think positive thinking, you just sit there and you visualize it and you think positively and it just happens. But it doesn't work that way. It actually, you have to take the actions to get the results, and where you spend your time in your calendar or schedule. Like if I showed up at your house today and probably looked at your schedule for 2023, maybe, and said, I open your calendar, would it show me the reasons why you had not achieved your fitness goals?
And
Probably.
I've always prioritized money over health. And I didn't realize that until we started doing some of this, really deep diving into mindset, into goal setting, into just your positivity sort of profile. I realized that making money was my big thing. And so if you looked at my schedule, you wouldn't see much recreation. You wouldn't see, I didn't spend much time with my family this year. What I did this year was work, 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 and made a lot of money. But to the exclusion of the thing I said last year that I wanted most. Isn't that amazing? The thing I
Yeah.
claimed was my big prize for, December of 2023, turns out it never got prioritized. It never got placed in the schedule.
Right. Super, super powerful. Scheduling to me is something that is a non-negotiable. And when you look at 60% of your week, 60% of your week should be the needle moving activities that get you towards where you want to go. And one of the number one things I see people do in goal setting is say, I want financial freedom, or I want to be a better investor. I want to put my money in places, or I want to be healthy. I want to get fitter. I want to, have this health goal. But when you actually look in the daily activities of what they're not doing anything to get closer to that. And that doesn't mean just scheduling a gym appointment, right? Like it could literally be reading a book, taking a course, joining a group, learning how to eat healthy, or learning how to, get the biggest, I don't know, most effective workout for your own body. When I think about finances, one of the goals I had was, I said I wanted by the end of this year, like 2023, to be able to sit at a table with real estate investors and actually have a conversation with them about it and know what I'm talking about, right? But then I'm like, what did I do about that? Right. So there's a few things I did do to become more financially knowledgeable, because I hear people say, I want to be better investing. Okay. Well, then what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to earn more money. Okay. But you're going to have more money, but it doesn't mean say you're going to know where to invest it. So really, if you thought about 3 things that you could do to be a better investor, it would probably entail you reading a book about investments, maybe joining a Facebook group, let's say, as an example, on real estate investing, and then taking a course, right? Like those 3 things. If you did those over time, probably by the end of the year, you're going to be knowing where to put your money. Because I hear that all the time, financial investment, but like, what are you doing? What actions are you taking? What activities? So that's why I'm always challenging people. It's really good to have a positive mindset and set your goals with positive intention and be positive. But then you have to go back and see, like, what are the activities, the needle moving activities that I'm going to take to get me closer to that goal.
That's so good. And I just want to highlight what you just said, because I want people to know this is so critical. You are where you are today based on the things that you knew prior to today. In order for you to get to another place, you have to know something else. You've got to know something different. And we so often beat ourselves up and say, I don't have the willpower. I don't have the motivation. Maybe you just don't have the knowledge or the inspiration or the community. Maybe there really is something you don't know. I mean, we all know, eat less calories, work out more, you'll lose weight. Everyone knows that. But the vast majority of Americans, at least, don't do that. And so there's something missing in our frame of understanding with regard to that. And that is the same for everything. And you just think about it, like, I'm a book publisher, I'm an author, I'm a real estate investor and an entrepreneur, right? If someone came to me today and said, I want to write a book, I wouldn't say, okay, well, just go sit down and write. I wouldn't say that to them. The first thing I would deal with would be their knowledge base. What do you know about your book, about yourself, about your audience, about the writing process, about the publishing? I would educate first, right? So that was my big aha moment today, actually earlier, April, when we were talking. I had this huge aha moment that, I really do need to grow in my knowledge of fitness and health and nutrition. I need to learn some new things. And just by immersing yourself in that world, I mean, honestly, what you just said is so important, because if you look at my Facebook groups right now, it's real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate, writing, publishing. And that's all there is there, right? And a little bit of comedy and incredible positivity, of course. But what I need to do is to add on some fitness. And so who's feeding into me are these fitness gurus and these, fitness fanatics and all these nutrition people who live in that world. And I can draw from their energy and inspiration.
Right. Super, super, super powerful. And that's really how you set yourself up with positive goals, right? Like for the year. And I just had another call with somebody, like we've been doing goal setting calls all week this week. I just had another one, and I was literally like, okay, so, you have, again, financial, you want this, you want that. What does that look like? Put a number, be specific, right? Like when you're thinking about this number that is giving you financial freedom, too many people say, I want financial freedom, but don't put a number on that piece of paper that's going to give you that. And if you don't do that, and I know I've been guilty of that in the past as an entrepreneur, we just want to make more. We want to make more. But what's your ceiling? Like literally, like what does that more look like? Is it 100K, 200? Is it $1 million? What does it look like? Because everyone's like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. That's financial freedom. Well, actually, that's not always financial freedom. And actually, there was a study in the US, I was following a finance guy, and he said 80% of millionaires never earned $1 million. They just knew what to do with the money when they had it. And most of them made a couple hundred, 5 figures, and then they were able to invest it. And that really made me think, God, I've got some education to do around like my income and then my money machine, what's happening. So yeah, it's super important. I think knowledge, I mean, I'm a big believer in like self-development and personal growth, and every year always have a personal development plan in my annual plan of a skill that I need to pick up and to master. And right now, that is not the one I love, but it's something I have to master for my business, right? Like 100%. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we don't realize the sort of underlying arrogance that we have. We don't call it that. We don't like to call it that. But there is this attitude that says, well, I already know. I already know what I need to do. And perhaps you know a lot of what you need to do, but it could just be a nuance, just a little key that you hear that will change everything. Like what happened for me earlier today. This big moment of discovery that is going to reshape everything from this day forward. It's like a combination lock. You know, if you had one of those locks, you know, that has 4 numbers on it and you've got to dial it into, you know, 5, 3, 6, 8. Well, you might have 5, 3, 6, but if you don't have 8, it doesn't matter that you have the other ones. The lock's not going to open. So for many of us, it's just finding that thing, that one little key, that one extra push, the intersection of inspiration and information. That's really the key to moving to the next level. And so, April, I mean, I know you probably aren't planning to mention this, but I think everyone needs to know that April's doing these goal setting calls for people, because you really do need someone else. You need a second party to because they can take a step back and see you in a way you cannot see yourself, and they'll hear you say things that you didn't even realize you said, and that may open the door to that last number that you need to dial in. And that certainly happened for me. And I mean, this is after working with April for all these years, for writing Incurable Positivity this year, and you know, all of the great things we've been doing, the constant calls and book clubs and everything. Even I had to still move up in my level of personal growth and development. And that is true for everyone, April. I think you said that earlier today. It's a never-ending process of personal growth.
Never-ending process of personal growth. And here's the other thing. It's never too late to set a 1-year goal. It doesn't have to be on January 1st, right? Like there's this whole thing around like everybody, even we're talking about goal setting because like everybody's doing it January 1st. But you know, for me, I always love setting my 1-year goal on my birthday. And the reason, right, versus January 1st. And I love doing that because it's kind of like that marker, that indicator in my year of like growth. I'm, you know, passing another year on this planet, and I get to look back and see what was that year like and what's this year. So even if, you know, the 1st of January, you pass that and you're like, oh, don't beat yourself up and be like, I didn't set my goal. No, you can set a 1-year goal at any time in the year. It does not have to be the 1st of January. So just remember that too, right? Like it's never too late to reset a goal, to restart something, to reframe your mindset, to reset your intentions, to pivot into something, and then realize you've got a new awareness of something like what you just shared about an awareness. It's never too late. Like you can always, that's one thing I loved about retail. It's like every day was a new day to take on a new challenge and to drive a result, right? So it's like, it's never too late and you can always get started. But yeah, I think it is helpful to have somebody bounce something off you so that you can actually have the other person hear you. And that's why I feel like coaching is so important, because you get stuck in your own head. That's what a lot of us do when we're thinking about things like this. Or we may not have the skill to set a positive goal. We don't know how to do that. We like Google how to set a goal, and it's like, make it smart, make it this, make it that. But which is great, and smart goals are important. But I like the be do have goals. I think the be do have goals are so powerful, and we'll probably talk about that in another video. Right? Because be do have is like my thing. I love it. It's my jam. It's super powerful. When you actually start to get this around your mindset, that's when the magic starts to happen, and you start to like really see you shifting towards accomplishing those goals. So, but we'll put that in the next video. For now, we're just going to say, we're going to wrap up this conversation. Hit subscribe. Angee, I know you're good at telling people to hit subscribe. What should you?
I mean, when you hit subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything, but it's your way of connecting with us. You'll always be informed whenever we release a new video, but we want you to join our community. Like we want you to be part of our positivity family and really join the conversation. Send us your questions, send us your comments. What is your goal for 2024? And what did you fail to do in 2023? We want to help you get there. That is what we feel most gratified by, when we see people's lives changing and they're moving the needle. So you got to hit subscribe and join the community.